Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from today. We are here with Satya, who is the product manager for Comet Backup. Hello, Satya.
Hi, Scott. How are you today?
I'm doing great. So tell me, where are you located at?
We are located at Christchurch, New Zealand.
Oh, okay. You're on the other side of the world from me. What's the weather like there in New Zealand?
It's supposed to be summer, but it's been pouring rains for the last week.
Okay,
so we're waiting for the sunshine to be appearing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I understand we're going to talk about how to back up Office 365 tenancies with Comet Backup.
Yes, that's the topic we're going to talk about today. I'll briefly go over it, and then I also have a demo to show you of how it works.
Wonderful. Well, I am excited to dive in. Do you want to go ahead and kick it off?
Sure, I will. Let me share my screen.
Sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yep, you're great.
Awesome. So Microsoft Office 365 is one of the most looked forward boosters for this year for Comet, and we built it. The services that it offers are the Outlook emails, the calendars, the Outlook contacts, OneDrive for Business, Sharepoint, and Teams files. These are the services that you can back up using Office 365. We had actually released this backup booster as part of our Voyager track back in May. So we have two tracks of releases that happens at Comet. So one is the Voyager, which happens weekly. So we have the most latest features, the most latest enhancements, the issues, bug fixes. It goes on a weekly cycle. So we have a few of our customers who actually use that. And we have released this booster as part of our quarterly release, which is like a longer major release, which happened in November for us. So this is available for our wider customer base now. So the key features that we always call out as part of our Office 365 backups is you can do like the whole domain level backups, or you can do the individual user level backups. And on the restore part, you can restore it to the file as a local, or you can restore it back to the original Office 365 users account. And the cool feature we have is we have made it much more simpler and easier by doing a built-in Azure application registration, which can be done automatically rather than the long manual process. I'll just go over some key features. So these are listed in our website because we wanted to keep the information accessible. The backup features we talk about is you can back up the mailbox, emails, attachments, calendar contacts. You can back up OneDrive for Business and SharePoints. You can back up the Microsoft data, Teams data. And one of the key selling points for Comet is you can bring your own storage. So that is our valuable selling points for Comet. So what that means is for the users of Comet, they have full control of their end users Office 365 data. So they can easily configure the storage configurations we have. And you also have the flexibility to back it up to the storage provider of your choice. So that's a key selling point for us. The other things that we built Office 365 on is our core chunking technology, which is the data stored in chunks. So this the data is always encrypted and compressed during the process. So that's something we always value from Comet side. And we also provide high performance incremental backups. On the restore side, you can restore the full mailbox or selected emails. And another feature you have is you can actually preview the emails before you restore to see the actual mail that you want to restore back to. And you can restore from any point in time. And you can restore to local PC like I had highlighted earlier, or you can restore to the original 365 Office account, or you can back up to another Office 365 account. I'll show you during the demo of how we can actually do that. We also have made the search and the sorting easier for you. in our UI. The management features we have is, we have the built-in Azure application registration that I was talking about earlier. And then we have the job logs that you can look at. And the normal other, like our other Office boosters, you can do the scheduled backups and other things.
Let me go back and ask you a quick question on the restore of the email. Let's just say you've got a client that 6 months ago said they had an email in their inbox and that email is no longer there. Nobody can find it. Nobody knows when it was deleted. You could actually preview, based on what I'm reading, it says you could preview emails before restoring. So you could find that email that they said they had 6 months ago, and then you could actually restore it directly into their Azure tenant or in their Office 365 tenant.
Yes.
So it would just sync and go to all their devices, and that email would be replicated and be able to be found.
Yes.
Okay. Very nice.
Inbox, and they can see that restored email.
Okay.
I will show you in the demo of a live demo of how
great.
that's done. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just open Comet client. So today I'll be using the Comet client for my demo. So this is our Comet client, and clicking on the add protected item, it displays all the existing boosters for us. So we have added the Microsoft Office 365. And clicking on next, it will take you to the section where I was talking about, which has the automatic authentication and the manual authentication. So our recommendation from Comet is to use the automatic authentication because it's much more easier and simpler. So you don't have to go over the long process of the manual authentication. But if you feel like doing the manual authentication, we have captured the steps for you as part of our documentation, which tells you how to register, how to do the authentication process. It's a much longer and complicated process, but we have it captured for you. It's also available. But today I'll be showing you the automatic authentication process.
So what would be the benefit of someone using the manual process? Why would they even need to do that?
So if you are not a very technical savvy person, and if you want to just start using Office 365 backups up and running immediately, so we have done the backup of the authentication and everything within the automatic authentication part. If you already know you have done the manual process, or you already have the application ID, tenant ID, and the application secret that's displayed here, and you know the region you want to connect your Azure connection to, you can still enter it here. But it's a longer process, and the reason it's longer is you have to wait for the Azure to come back, and there's a lot of back and forth process that takes place. So that's why it made it much more simpler for you.
Okay.
So I'll just show you the automatic authentication. So it will ask you for an email address. And it displays a code. So clicking, copy the code from this Comet client and click on the device login link that's provided on the top. So I'm not sure. So this is not on outside. I was just going back. So when you copy the code, you will get a sign up message. Not sure why it's not working. Let me try it again. Okay, so I think it was the Firefox. So clicking on that link that I showed you from our client. So this link, it opens the login, device login, which pops up like this. So you enter the code, which this is not the code. So the code that's here, you copy the code, enter, click on next.
Perfect.
And it will ask you to choose the administrator account. So that's something that's pre-populated for us. So when you choose the administrator account, you can see, you click on continue. So we are waiting for the registration process to complete. So there is a delay here because it's actually performing another test connection in the background.
Okay.
And once it's completed, it will load all the live users and the groups that's connected to the administrator account that we had provided.
Gotcha.
Going to take a few minutes. So if you see, it's completed the registration successfully, and then it gives you a pop-up that it's completed. So once we click on OK, you also see that the actual details have been populated here. So this is automatically done for you through the Comet client. So you don't have to manually go through the long process. So when I click OK here, we also do automatic test connection for you, making sure that the credentials that was populated through our process is actually valid and successful. So this is a mandate step that we have done, which is very helpful for the administrator. So clicking on the next, this is actually all the live users and groups that's connected to the administrator account. So you can see all the users, all the shared sites. You can see the group mailbox. You can see all the details that's available for this organization. So this is the search I was talking about earlier. So we have a search feature. So if you want to find just the users you're looking for backup, the search is going to be helpful. So in our scenario, you're just seeing like a minimal list, but in live, like when you have an organization, you would see the user list much more longer. So we have also made it easier using the sort. So if you want just the users displayed, you're just going to back up just the users. You can, or just the groups of that organization, or just the teams, or only the Sharepoint sites. It's going to be much more efficient when you have like a longer organization, large organization.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a quick question. We've got a comment. So it's not limited to Office 365 backup, but also does files and folder backup?
Yes, that's the offering from Comet. So what we have done now is our first cloud backups. So I will show you, I'm just trying to find the page. So if you see, Comet offers different kinds of backup solutions. So we offer disk image, we offer files and folders, we offer Microsoft Office 365. So that's the one I'm talking about today. But other than this, we offer a lot of other things like Microsoft SQL Server, Hyper-V backups, and the Exchange Server backups. And then we have MySQL backups, MongoDB. So these are all the other kinds of backups that you can do using Comet Client. So when I showed you the Comet Client, when I showed you the original protected item, I was telling you we just added Microsoft Office 365 as the next booster for us. So Comet offers all the others. So when you come into Comet, you can back up any kind of backup types.
And that's on one dashboard, right? Because we've got another question that says, so it's a separate product.
No, it's a single product. So
right,
it's
single pane of glass.
Yes, it's a single pane of glass. So because they have asked that question, maybe I can jump over quickly to the pricing. So if you see the pricing, we have a simple monthly pricing that's actually available in our website, and we are open with our costs. So you can actually see the cost of the backup displayed here, and that's the cost you're going to get. So using this backup cost calculator, it's going to be very easy. So this also displays all the backup types that you can do. It's going to be one Comet client that you will be using for all of these. So if you see the first one, so there is a device cost, base cost of $2. So with that, you can actually do the files and folder backups. So along with the files and folder backups, it also includes these additional things that you can do within the files and folders. And the boosters that I was talking about now is on top of the $2. So for the Office 365, you just need one device for you to back up. So you will be having one device at $2, and then the Office 365 pricing goes by per user. So I was showing you the uses here. So if you're selecting this here, it's going to be $1.50, $1.50 for 2 users as your pricing. But you will just have one device as the base device cost for it. And similarly, if you want to do disk image, you go up on the numbers, and that's 1. And then if you see, it actually does the calculation for you. And the pricing is based on monthly charges, and it's on USD.
Okay, so there's one more question. I think I see the answer already. File and folder backup license is per device or per storage?
It's per device.
Per device, okay.
Yeah. And we don't go by license model here. So we just call its device. So the device that you bring in, it's going to take a base charge of $2. So if you have $2 that you're backing up for files and folders, it will be $4 in total.
Okay. Very good.
Awesome. Going back to where we were, which was Office 365, you can choose the entire organization if you are backing up everybody and all their SharePoints and all their group mailbox and everything. So you just have an option to choose on the top. We also have a feature at the right side, which is select all except. So that's going to help you include and exclude the emails that you don't want. Sorry, not emails, I meant the user accounts that you don't want to select. So for some reason in this organization, you don't want to back up their Teams data, their SharePoint, and you don't want to back up these users. So you can always go and unselect them. So how would you know if it's selected or not is? So when you're selecting, so on the right, we have also made it easily visible. From the UI side, you could see it get highlighted. So they will be backing up calendars, contacts, mails, SharePoint sites, and OneDrive sites here, if you see, for example. The other thing you can do is for an individual user, you can also choose the services you want to back up. So you can select an individual user or multiple users, and then you click on the edit on the top. So these are the services that are available for the users. That's for the backup. So you don't have to, if you choose not to back up a SharePoint and OneDrive for the user, you just go select these 3. Only these 3 are highlighted, and there becomes partial selection. So, you know, like the users who are fully protected. So we use the term protected at Comet for the users. So once a user is selected, it's considered as a protected account. So that's how we use it for charges and pricing. So that's how we refer. So once you select the user, it's a protected account for the Office 365. So this user is partially protected and this user is fully protected. So what that means is they are backing up all the services that's available. And this user has just a few services that they will be backing up. So what else can I show you? So the other cool feature we have is there is always a question about, like, in the shared mailbox and shared sites, how many users are actually there as part of the shared sites? So that's another question that always pops up. So here I've selected the Teams shared site. So there's a button on the right which actually shows the members. So when you click on them, you can actually see all the members that's listed as part of the shared site for you. So that's 17 members in total. So when you select there, so you will also see, we made it easier for you at the bottom to see the summary. So the summary will tell you how many calendars in total you're protecting, the contacts, mail, SharePoint sites, OneDrive sites. So totally, because I've selected the entire organization, we're going to protect 21 accounts in total.
What about SharePoint server licenses? Is that treated as just another user, or is that based on storage?
It's treated as a user. So if you have a SharePoint, which is only for one user, so that one user will be protected. But if you have a shared SharePoint, let's say 5 users are part of it, but you have already protected one user for email. So the rest of the 4 will be protected just for the SharePoint.
Okay.
So charges wise, you will see like it's protected for, you will have protected accounts as 5 in total.
Okay.
So for our demonstration purpose, I'm going to choose the dev test and then clicking on next. I'm not setting any commands here today. I'm not setting any schedules here. I want it to just run. I'm choosing my storage. And I'm actually running the backup now. That's the protected item I set up originally, December 7th demo. And then I'm choosing the storage where it needs to back up. And the backup starts running. So when the backup runs, you can see the progress, and that gets displayed on the right. So while this backup is running, it's going to take a few minutes. It's not a big user that we are backing up. I will show you the web interface of Comet. So
Okay.
all the things that I showed you was on the client side. So you also have the web interface for Comet, which does exactly the same functionalities that I was showing you now. So we added the protected item on the client side, and you can actually see it up here. So you can also, using the web interface, add a new protected item if you want to. So choose the device, all the lists that we saw there. You can choose a Microsoft Office. You can do exactly the same steps that you followed earlier. So in this case, I'll open the one that we have already done, and I'll just show you the screens. So it's all the same screens. You have the automatic authentication, the manual authentication, it's already populated for us. There's a test connection, which is already done. So if you go to the items, it shows step test from there. So you can see it's highlighted. And you can see the summary at the bottom. We are protecting one account, which is step test. You have the search here. You have the sort here. We were also talking about the include, exclude functionality. So everything that's there in the client side is also available in the web. So what that means is, as an administrator, you can actually set up the backups from the web for the different organizations that you have in your account that you're backing up.
Okay.
It's much more efficient. So going back, we had the backups that was running. So if you see now, the backup has completed successfully. So one of the things that you can do from the job history of a successful backup is go look at their detail log. So what happens here is there's a files tab here. You can actually go and see the mails, contacts, calendars that you actually backed up now for this user. So clicking on the inbox, if you see, these are the mails that got backed up for the user. So I'll also show you on the actual Outlook. So these are the mails that was available in the inbox. So we can see that Comet has successfully backed these up because it's uploaded them successfully. And you can also preview the emails. This is the feature I was talking about. So when you go preview, you can actually see
Nice.
the emails that got backed up. So when you're actually restoring, that's a very good feature for you to know which emails to go and restore back. So
I like that preview. That's nice.
Yeah, it is very helpful, especially when you want to restore. So data loss is very scary in our IT world. So when that happens, but I'll show you a live demo of it. So let's say I lost all the emails from my inbox. And for some reason, I've also lost them from the deleted items. So when that happens, there's nothing in the inbox in the deleted items. So I want to restore everything back that I did now. So clicking on restore, so I will go to the storage where I have backed up. And then I would choose the protected item I just backed up. So here, if you see, we will list all the inbox items, all the folders that was backed up. So again, during the restore process, you can also preview the email. So again, you can make sure which email you really want to restore, or you can restore all. So for our demonstration purpose, let me just restore 5 of them. So this is the feature I was talking to you about earlier, which was you can restore them back to a local file and then eventually export them into the user account. Or we have made it easier by actually restoring it to their original location, their cloud location immediately as part of our restore. There is also another scenario, which is actually if we have somebody leave an organization and you want to move all the mails from that person into the new person who's joining the organization. So in that case, you'll have to restore it back to the cloud location, but to a different email address. So we also have an option here where you can enter somebody else's email and all the restore goes back to them, which is much more simpler than restoring back. We are avoiding the 2-step restore there. But
so you don't have to use the Outlook desktop client and export it as a PST or anything like that. Just do it all from the GUI there.
Yes, you can.
Very nice.
If you want to, you can still do that option. But most of our customers prefer this. So they restore it back to their original Microsoft account. So that's what I'm going to do now. So if you see on the left, I have my inbox here, which is empty. So once I click on restore, you would start seeing the mails flow. So the restore is happening now. And it's live, so you just see it appear immediately. So there you go. So we selected 5 emails. So all the 5 emails are restored back.
That was quick too.
Yes, it's very quick. And again, you can go to the detail logs and you can see how long it took and other details of the job log if you want to view it. So that is all I had pretty much as a demonstration. And costing, I think that was the last section I wanted to talk about, but we already covered it as part of the question that came up.
Okay.
Was there anything else that you had?
No, I think that's it. So let me just be sure that I understand everything. So the initial cost is $2 per device for any Comet Backup, but that includes files and folder backup only. So if you wanted to back up their Office 365 mailbox, that would be an extra $1.50. And then you just put your quantity on the right. Okay, so if you wanted to do, and then also if you wanted to add a full disk image for those who are interested in the product, not just from the Office 365 perspective, that would be an additional $3.
$3, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is another slide I wanted to show at the end, which was just the costing for the Office 365 user. Sorry. Just going back to the previous one. So this is the cost that we already spoke about. So so here as an example, the base charges for the protected device is $2. And then in this example, you are backing up 3 Office 365 users at $1.50 each. So in this case, the total cost will be $6.50 per month.
Got it. Okay.
That's just an example for the Office 365. But like the one I was showing earlier, we have the simple calculator in our website. It's available for everybody. So you can use it there for you to calculate.
And where was on that calculator, though? Where is SharePoint?
It's the SharePoint is again per user. So for Office 365, we provide all these services. So when I go back.
Okay, so SharePoint and OneDrive are going to be under Microsoft Office 365 then.
Yes. So if you see that pricing model is based on per Office 365 user. So as a user of as a protected Office 365 user, you can protect all of these services, which is emails, calendar, contacts, OneDrive for Business, SharePoint, or Teams files, or you can just choose to do protection only for mails or SharePoint. So that's what we were talking about. So the price is for every Office 365 user. And
Okay.
you can protect all of the services just for $1.50.
Well, that makes all the sense in the world.
Yes. Yes.
Well, awesome. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share this with us. This has been very helpful, and you're a good presenter. So you've laid it all out there very nice and easy to understand.